we've just done with Luke Gunn and myself, with a bit of help. So yeah, welcome. So my name's Andy Drake. I'm here at the Leeds Talent Hub, and so I manage the program, and then I'm with my coaching colleagues, Andy Henderson, who is head of athletics, head coach, and Helen Clitheroe, our performance coach, and so we're here to say hello, and we'll have I think we'll have a bit of time for some questions a little bit later. We're going to start watching just a video that gives you a nice look at some of the campus facilities and the big new sports science building, and yeah, then we'll look at our program in a little bit of detail, and yeah, and then we can have a chat. So let's watch the video. There we go. Cool. Okay, so that's a nice overview. That's our brand new Carnegie School of Sport building, which during the course of the lockdown process has been handed over to the university. So yeah, you know, not only are we looking forward to getting back onto campus and getting access to a track, but also some great new facilities which are from our program. So yeah, so just to chat about our program specifically in Leeds. Our two poster athletes are our Leeds Beckett graduate Laura Waitman and Tom Bosworth, both medalists from Commonwealth Games and the Gold Coast, and Olympic and World Championship finalists. So we're very proud of them. But yeah, I think a lot of people will have sort of looked at our overview in the previous session, but simply in terms of looking at how Talent Hub program now sort of slots in with with the rest of the performance pathway, and yeah, so just briefly to repeat a little bit of what we picked up in the initial session, but we have a world-class sport program, and that's the focus. There's medals, that's really tough and stay on, and likewise the future program sits underneath that. Again, you're looking at you've probably been a finalist in the World Junior Championships to get a place on there. So and until these programs came online, then that was largely your support, or I think that's sort of missing out a whole layer of athletes there, who clearly can go on and compete at a very high level, and may well ultimately have potential to get on things like the world-class program. So yeah, coming in through the university program, starting at age 16, we've got our youth talent program, where you can study for a diploma in sporting excellence, but you can come in at points through the year with your coach, and work on that, on sort of all the elements that are important in a lot of your athletic development to go with that. And it's 18 plus, and that we'll see in a our in terms of being on our campus or in Leeds, around the pushing from our university and other universities, and all of that just sits within sort of club, school, athletics, and lifelong participation. So athletes who come in on Youth Talent, not everybody on that program is going to make it all the way through to the world-class program, but if we can give elements of talent support to as many athletes and coaches as possible, then we hope that is going to have an impact on particularly on retention, reducing the dropout rates, so that people can go on and fulfill their potential and fulfilling senior athletics career. And I guess the other side of the slide there, I guess, and it's sort of in philosophy. So, as a group of coaches and practitioners who've worked together, have been building programs in Leeds for a long time. We're sort of passionate about this process. And obviously when you see the likes of Laura and Tom, expressing that in a championship is fantastic. And how do we sort of measure? And that's one mechanism of sort of measuring success is getting athletes into teams. When we say Olympic distance, I think that kind of alludes to the performance, making senior transition successfully. But we think we can be good at helping people fulfill potential, and that really is working athletes and their coaches, so to support them to help to make that progress. And we just look at our next slide. So as I said, this this program, so you've got the Youth Talent program, the Talent Hub. It wraps around the the current student provision, the group that trains with the University Athletics Club also does pull in athletes from other institutions as well. The given programs. So, and let's just have a look at the team that's still some people to add into to this progress. Managing the performance, obviously the coaching, obviously working on the youth Dan himself on coach ed programs. Coach with that. Run with physio support in terms of Alison Rose and her colleagues at the physio clinic just across the road from the campus. And Alison is perhaps best known for working with Kelly Holmes, Jess Ennis, and Johnny Alistair Brownlee in particular. So fantastic to be able to work with Ali. So we have dedicated sports nutrition and sports psychology from Cara and Ross, respectively. And then the wider School of Support provides us with some wider sports science support in terms of support and exercise physiology, biomechanics in particular. And Yeah, and this is an endurance-driven pilot. We do have a throws athlete and sprints athlete supported by the hub program also. Yeah, and Mike and John are our multi-events and our sprints and hurdles coaches as part of the university program. So that's the kind of the crowd of personalities that are that are working together on delivering the program. So I think if we flip back to see if we've got any questions, and yeah, myself, Andy, or Helen, we'll have a look at answering some of those. So I think Lynn will put one or two up for us. So cool. Right. Okay, Paul. Hi. Thanks for that. So okay, sprints and hurdles. So in terms of our university program, then John oversees that, and Mike would support some of our jumps and throws. And so if you particularly saw from the video, that new sports science building also has an 80-meter sprint track on the roof. So clearly we want to grow the Talent Hub elements of this into other events. So endurance really is just the kind of priming the opportunities that this could start to to present on campus. I don't know if Andy, if you wanted to, did you want to chip in at all with that, Andy?
Well, I just think we just have to remind ourselves that at the moment it's a pilot site for endurance, and we're working towards the other disciplines as well. So we'd be looking to strengthen on the coaching side for sure. But at the moment, we're just looking at the endurance side of stuff.
Cool. All right. Ronan, thanks, Ronan. Okay, is it possible to bring group athletes to the facilities and learn some more? I would say that would normally say yes, of course. Obviously, university is currently closed, because of the because of the whole lockdown situation. But as we start to reopen things, then clearly that's that'll be a yes, and I'll help you organise that. So I look forward to doing that in as we start to get unlocked in the coming months.
We do like to encourage people to come and have a look at the facilities and maybe join in a session just so that they get a taste for what things are like, and see whether it is actually a university that they'd like to come to as well.
Yeah, good chat. Thanks, Andy. Yeah. Okay, there we go. So Spencer's chipped in and helped us out there with a point there. So, we're athletics coaches. And we work with athletes and their coaches. Growing more activity and and further wider event groups. It's something we'll all be excited to do. Cool. Hi, Luke. So, I think Andy would, agree there in terms of jumps provision. Then, Mike, in terms of multi events, covers a lot of that type of activity. And I think actually just to not specific to high jump, but one of the athletes that is on our program that we're supporting at the moment is a hammer thrower, and so they work with their own coach, and their own coach is not is based out of town, but what the hub program, can do is, you've got all of that, the sports medicine, sports science support, strength and conditioning, physiotherapy, the sports sciences, nutrition, psychology, biomechanics, etc. That can actually can support that athlete. So if somebody was coming here, and it would appear that there isn't out and out specialist support for their event, there is a really healthy support program for you as an athlete. Yeah, that's a good point, Mark. How many we've got? So we probably have 18 to 20 a year on our intake. The Youth Talent program has 24 on there, and we currently have 20 on our Talent Hub pilot. Obviously, there'll be a second intake of Youth Talent, so there'll be 40 odd of that group, and and then we look at I guess maximising our budget in terms of the actual Talent Hub program itself. But we have about 20 on there. Right. Hi, Craig. That's a good point. So, Andy, Helen, leap in at any point. Otherwise, I'll hog it all. Process by joining the Talent Hub. We have an process, and we're looking at we're not of picking for programs. Technical, tactical, physical, mental aspect. We're specifically focused on an age where we're trying to transition people through from juniors to seniors. And I think we're aware of the challenges that go with that. Progression is not a smooth, straight line. Hopefully our selection process will pick that up. But we've got a webinar coming up on that in due course, so we'll look at that in a bit of detail then. So
I think we lost it a bit then, Andy. I don't know if you can hear us. I think we all went off the screen. I think we're all back on now, though.
Okay. Oh, thanks, Helen.
Might need to repeat a little bit of the last question, the answer to the last question.
Okay. Right. Thanks, Helen. I think the last question, I think we were talking about selection. So we have a webinar coming up on that. So hopefully we can address everything in that one. We've got one just dedicated to selection. So right, hopefully we're back online with everything now. Will athletes attending the youth end of the offering still be encouraged to represent their clubs in YDL and other leagues? The program isn't about competition. It's about coaching. It's about athletes and their coaches. So we're not a club. There is a Leeds Beckett University Athletics Club, as there is at other universities. But the youth end of it, athletes and coaches that come from clubs, all around the region. So again, yes, Graham. The short answer to that is yes. I think we, it's one of the early questions once we get out of lockdown. So, all three of us here, are virtually involved in sort of coach development programs. Okay, so Helen delivers the steeplechase program, it's like the targeted events program for England. I do the same for the race walk program. We've all been involved in coach ed and like a range of coach development activities and various different programs and names over many years. So it's a big part of of what we're about. So yeah, as soon as we sort of start getting opened up, then you'd be able to do that. So, right, hi Ruth. So if we're talking about the youth talent program in terms of how often you expect to come to Leeds, so that runs over, or it would have run over, so it's all been done virtually at the moment, but it has been over 10 over the course of the year, 10 days. I'm kind of looking at we're pondering how we whether we change the delivery of that, and you might perhaps come in for 2-3 days at a time, come over a weekend, or like into a school half term, something like that. But yeah, it's 10 days, and coaches aren't expected to attend, but coaches are very welcome to attend, and it is a program for athlete and coach. And this year we've delivered, so some of the workshops that we've delivered for athletes, we've then actually repeated them, and we've taken the coaches through them as well, or in other, I guess, depending on the activity, some will be with athlete and coach together. Some it might just be the athletes that are together, but then we take the coaches through all of that. So yeah, but it's about athlete and coach throughout all of this. Thanks, Jeffrey. I'm not aware of futures being discontinued. This is probably a point where it overlaps. We have an athlete we're supporting on the hub who is also part of the futures program. So yep, but I'm not aware of any developments on that front. So, cool. Les, Karen, no, we have a sprints athlete. We have a sprinter and a thrower on our program currently, and the youth talent is across every single event group. So no, when we go through selection and the application process, yeah, you can apply. And I think hopefully I gave the example when we had the question about high jump of in terms of coaching provision. Yeah, there is all the the support processes in place. And then myself or one of the coaching colleagues here would be would still be a point of contact and go through like the individual athlete planning process with the athlete, whatever their event group. Right. Thanks, Craig. Yeah. So, well, yeah. I don't know. We're not a club. So yeah, we have there is a student athletics club, like as there is for for all institutions. But and athletes enjoy competing for their university for those things. But the youth talent there's no. Everybody competes for their own club, and likewise, all of the athletes that we sort of currently and historically coached here, they compete for their clubs. So this is just an opportunity to wrap around a sort of a professional environment around a group of athletes from the region, or who maybe come here to study, to support them and their coach.
Yeah, Andy, can I just come in there?
Yes, brilliant. Thanks.
So, hi everyone. I've only just started working from the Leeds Beckett hub on a part-time basis. But what I would say, and what I've noticed for the athletes who are on the hub currently on the pilot scheme, is that what we're trying to do is help point them in the right direction to utilise the services that are on offer, and and support them alongside their coaches as part of the hub. So that's our goal. It certainly isn't to sort of ask them to change clubs or anything like that. And the athletes who are part of the pilot scheme that aren't part of the Leeds training group, I can think of one in particular who's really benefited from having access to the services on offer. So I think that's been, you know, that works for athletes from whatever event group, you know, having that access to services that is very much like a high performance culture is massive in terms of their development, and they're all really sort of, you know, benefiting and thankful for that opportunity. And I think that's something that we should really sort of highlight, that, you know, it's a massive opportunity for the athletes who are selected to be on the hub, that they've got you know, a chance to be in a real performance environment, and that whether that's with us helping them alongside their coach, or in any way that we can as coaches to do their program of training. Hope that helps.
Yeah, cool. No, brilliant. Thanks, Helen. I think this question, yeah, it's on a, you know, it's in a similar vein. Well, yeah, absolutely. I think we are coaches, and there is coaching on offer, but we work with you and your coach. So, you know, particularly if you're local, you'll be working with your coach, and then you're coming in to access support. If you've come to Leeds, you know, the typical example, if you come as a student to one of the universities, you know, if you're here at Leeds Beckett, then yeah, we'll work with your coach, but probably on a day-to-day basis. You know, particularly if you're endurance, you'll want to work in a group, you know, and we'll then sort of help organize that, you know, but we'll share all of that with your coach, can know exactly what we're getting up to. So yeah, so in answer to that question initially, then yeah, you know, yeah, you have your coach come in for your support program. Nice. Andy, you've probably got some good examples of that. If I can just put you on the spot, you know, but you'll have a number of athletes in your groups, especially you know, who are away from their coaches.
Yeah, just looking at students. So basically, yeah, just trying to help them out. I mean, yeah, so they just access the support that we've got available for them, yeah. It's just liaising with their coaches and just making sure that it's something that they want to utilize. A lot of the athletes especially use, you know, like the treadmill testing, nutrition is a big thing. And yeah, we've got a little bit more access to sports site now as well. So the athletes are getting to utilize that as well when they can. So yeah, it's just like, you know, everything else. You could probably access more when you come as a student as such as well. So yeah, and then of course now with the hub, we're lucky enough to have other athletes from outside as well be able to access the facilities as well and make use of them.
Yeah, cool. Cheers. Thanks. Right. Do we have a 30-minute slot? We've so unless Spencer pulls the plug on us, maybe address one more very briefly.
I think that might be the last question.
I think that is the last question. So
somebody's typing.
Yeah. Cool. Okay. Hey, well, if one appears and we don't get switched off, we'll have a go. But just to say, yeah, there's a series of webinars coming up. I think doing a couple more with Luke that are sort of generic to the, you know, to the program. And we are a team. We do work together. But yeah, then we have a number of specific ones, you know, also related to this team in Leeds as well. So I think over the next few weeks, then you know, that'll come up. I just
seen a question from Luke.
I just saw a question from Luke then.
Or is it?
Or is it? Yeah. So somebody called Luke Gunn has asked, is Leeds better than Birmingham? So hey, in terms of like student university competition, then, you know, hey, of course, you know, I'm sure we'd be wanting to knock lumps out of each other, you know, in terms of like, you know, Bucks cross country and Bucks track and field, etc. Yeah, but beyond that, then no, the Talent Hub program is a team thing, and we do enjoy working together. Yeah. So Luke, if that was you, great question. If it wasn't, cheeky. So there we go. And on that bombshell, I think that's us wrapped up. Thanks everybody, for lots of people joining in, are passionate about all of this. It's a real privilege for us to be, to be working on a project like this, because it's what we're passionate about, working with athletes, coaches, helping people find out how good they can be. Yeah, thanks for tuning in, and look forward to seeing you again on one of our forthcoming webinars. Right, thanks so much. Have a good evening. Cheers.
Thank you very much, guys. Cheers. Bye-bye.